The movie starts off by introducing us to the main characters, Timmy and Marco with their close friends, Hakeem and Dwayne. They have just finished up with a game of football and begin talking about a party that they have been invited to, until Leah and Cheyenne come over. Timmy initiates a conversation with them, but it's unfortunately a hard watch as he has obviously never talked to a girl before. His friends are doing what friends do best, laughing at his awkward attempt at Riz. Later that day, we're shown an inside of one of the main gangs, the Ghetto Boys, with the leader of it, Matter. Everyone is laughing and chatting away, until the other gang known as the Peckham Boys pull up on them out of nowhere, causing most of the Ghetto Boys to run off, but a few still stood their ground. That is until the leader of the Peckham Boys called Switcher takes control of the situation and starts shooting at them, causing them to run away. We skip back to the main characters in a shopping center, looking at some shoes, until the same girls as earlier appear outside the shop, causing Timmy and even Hakeem to rush towards them for a second attempt of Riz. They begin talking about the party that they are going to, until some members of the Peckham Boys, Skitzer and Daps, rush towards them and attempt to frighten them, which works for Hakeem, but Timmy stands his ground. He gets in their faces and turns the tables around on them by threatening them to move away, until the gang members figure out that Timmy lives in the same area as the Ghetto Boys, resulting in Daps pulling a knife out on them. But Marco comes to the rescue and positions himself between Timmy and the gang members, but they soon back down when they realize that he is Switcher's brother. Later on that day, Marco and Timmy are walking to the shop, talking about the beef between these two gangs and how Timmy feels disliked by Marco's brother due to where he lives, but the conversation is put to a pause when Marco goes into the shop. While Timmy is waiting outside, some Ghetto Boys, the main one being Killy, approach him but only to talk like they're old friends, until Marco comes out from the shop. Drama erupts again as Killy thinks he knows Marco from somewhere, but Timmy steps in between them to stop the altercation. This just comes to show how easy it is to get under someone's skin in these environments. But we skip back to the Ghetto Boys hiding out and discussing what happened with the other gang, until some of the members that ran away come back, but not with a warm welcome as Matter squares up to them, calling them pussies and a range of other names. But during this interaction, one of the gang members notice a video of them getting ducked out by the other gang all over the internet. In retaliation, the Ghetto Boys pull up on the Peckham Boys while they were chilling and they begin chasing them down. Matter and another member are able to shoot one of the targets, but not fatally as he's able to run off, although as they were making their way back, Switcher shoots the other gang member in the back. He falls to the ground, but Matter doesn't stay as he'll be caught by the police. The next night, Marco, Timmy and the others are at the party that they have been talking about for the whole movie, and with no surprise, Timmy is sitting in the corner only dreaming about dancing with Leah, but shockingly Leah makes the first move and offers him to dance, which he obviously accepts and they begin slow dancing, but to rap music. Interesting choice of dance style, but this gets interrupted as Marco gets into a fight, causing a massive outbreak, but they flee the scene soon after. The same night, Marco is seen sleeping on the sofa when armed police officers bust down his door and aim their guns at him, but they are after Switcher, who gets arrested and dragged out of the house, but it's revealed later on that he got released due to lack of evidence. Timmy and Leah are seen together at Timmy's house the next day as they had planned to watch the new Game of Thrones season together as his mum is out of town for the weekend, but that doesn't last long as they just start listening to music and begin chatting, but after waiting years for this moment, they finally have some playtime. We skip to Marco leaving Timmy some voice messages as he's a little too preoccupied to answer his phone, but he encounters Killy with some other Ghetto Boys as well, who confront him about their last interaction, which quickly turns violent as the Ghetto Boys jump him and even break his arm. The next morning at school, Timmy and Leah walk towards the friend group, but he notices Marco's broken arms and queries it. Marco explains what happened to him and that it was Killy and some Ghetto Boys. However, he gets more and more aggressive towards Timmy as he thinks he was a part of the attack due to him not answering his phone. Everyone slowly gathers around while they argue about Timmy being a snake, until Leah decides to join in, but she gets shut down quickly as Marco slaps her, but in return Timmy punches him back. The tensions rise as they get in each other's faces, but it is broken up by Hakeem and Dwayne, but at this point, they have made the transition to enemies. A few months have went by and Timmy and Leah have gotten even closer, while Marco has started rolling with his brother's gang. But we're shown Timmy sitting on a wall outside, waiting for Leah until masked men pull up on him and circle him. He gets one punch in but gets jumped right after. Leah sees this and rushes to his aid, but she gets uppercutted so hard that she hits the ground. Timmy sees this and punches the person, which turns out to be Marco, but he grabs a brick and hits Timmy over the head with it. It's revealed that Leah died on impact and Timmy was in a coma after this event. However, Marco got caught by police and was arrested. 3 years later, the ghetto boys pull up on a bus and start threatening some teenagers for their money and phones, but Timmy comes up from the back of the group and demands that Killy gives their phones back, indicating that he's officially a ghetto boy. It's clear here that he's joined this gang as a result of Leah dying and he aims to get revenge for it. On the way back to their corner, Timmy and Killy encounter Hakeem walking along the footpath, so they jump out of the car and throw him up a wall. They start demanding that he tells them where Marco is, indicating that he's been released from jail, but Hakeem hasn't seen him since he's been released, and after calling him a few slurs, they leave the scene. We're now shown Marco fresh out of prison hiding out in some flat with his brother. He's still shook about accidentally killing Leah and the entire situation in general as people are out to kill him now, but his brother reassures him. Timmy and Matter are camping out in a car talking about the people they've lost until Killy calls about them getting the drop on Switcher at a nightclub. Timmy and some of the ghetto boys are waiting outside, until Marco is heard from outside of the van, resulting in Timmy rushing out of the car and jumping him. While he's getting ground and pounded, Matter comes towards them with a gun with the hope of killing him, but Switcher whacks him over the head with a bat and attempts to use the same gun to kill him, but Timmy comes to the rescue and stabs him in the back. With Switcher now dealt with, he goes over to Marco to finish the job but the gun jams, giving him time to run off, but he's not able to chase after him as they're forced to leave the scene. Marco and his family are shown in the hospital with Switcher in the hospital bed. Due to the stabbing, he's going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Major L, but due to this, Marco swears to get revenge as he rushes out of the hospital and calls Timmy to warn him that it's going to be him coming after him instead now. A few days later, Marco's and Switcher's cousin, Tyrone, shows up at their house. He's the leader of another gang in England and he's the person who got Switcher into the gangs, therefore he feels partly the blame for his wheelchair situation. But they all meet up with the Peckham boys to plan out their attack, but Tyrone is demanding that they all wait for the weakest link of the ghetto boys to slip up, then they can attack. We skip to the ghetto boys who are also planning out their attack. Matter explains what everyone needs to do, but Timmy disagrees with the plan because the police will be waiting for them. As a result of this, they have a vote for whose plan will work better, which Timmy wins easily, but based on how they are talking to each other now, you can sense a bit of resentment between them, which worsens after Matter insults Timmy's dead girlfriend. During the heated argument, Killy stands up for Timmy, which Matter doesn't like, so he storms off. Timmy is now back at his house, looking back at an old photo of him and Leah, until he gets a phone call from Matter asking that he meets him outside of his flat, which he thinks is a setup, so he rushes out and squares up to him, but all he wants to do is talk. He's apologetic about the things he said earlier and wants to seek his forgiveness, which Timmy is hesitant about but soon accepts the apology whenever Matter informs him that Killy got the drop on Marco. Timmy and Matter meet Killy at the meetup point, but as they stop, Timmy is curious on how Killy got the information about Marco's location, which he did not get an answer to. Bit suspicious, but anyway, Killy convinces Timmy to go into the back of the van, which only opens from the outside due to his back hurting. Even more suspicious, they drive to the drop point and Matter grabs a shovel from the back, but they leave Timmy on the inside. He's shouting out from the van to let him out, but Killy is preoccupied taking a pee, and Matter is away to dig up a box that was buried, with guns and ammo in it, but there is suspiciously nothing in the box. He rushes back to Killy to inform him that someone already dug up the guns, but this doesn't seem to faze him one bit. It's revealed here that he was the one who dug up the guns, and he's also the one who set both of them up as Tyrone appears from the darkness with the other gun he had buried. Matter and Killy begin arguing about his reasoning for turning on them, which he blames on Timmy getting too big for his boots, but whenever Tyrone gets involved in the conversation, he gets whacked with a shovel. Now with one man down, Matter continues to threaten Killy, but he pulls a gun on him and attempts to shoot him, but to Killy's surprise, there's no ammo in the gun. Rookie move. In response, they both wrestle for the second gun that Tyrone dropped, and a gunshot is heard. While this all is going on, Marco slowly walks over to the van that Timmy's locked in and reveals to him that Killy sold them all out. At this point, Marco has started pouring petrol all around the van with the hope to set him on fire. Once he runs out of petrol and after minutes of contemplating, he throws the lighter at the van, setting it up in flames. Matter comes back just in time to fire shots at Marco, but he is able to run away. Timmy is still struggling inside the van, trying his hardest to get out, but nothing is working, so Matter grabs the shovel and uses it to bust the door open, even though there was a door handle, but anyway, time is running out as Timmy is choking on the smoke, but as he slowly loses consciousness, Matter gets the door open and drags him out to safety. But at this point, he's too late. He's lost the battle. The police pull up on them and drag him off. The movie ends with Matter accepting a plea deal to reduce his prison sentence that gets Tyrone and Marco arrested and charged with 30 and 35 years in prison. Matter is now a public speaker who prioritizes in raising awareness for gang violence. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and remember to turn on notifications to get the best rap cinema updates.